So what do the Yankees do this offseason at third base? Now, I know they have Gio, but there are two things that could clear a path for them to get somebody named Matt Chapman from the Oakland A's, and who's an absolute elite, sterling elite defensive player at third base. Now, so is Gio, okay? But there's an opportunity to move Gio to shortstop, and you bring in Matt Chapman from the A's, and again, you've not only improved the defense in the infield considerably, but you've also, basically replicated or replaced offense that you might lose by moving one of two guys. So, let's say they move, in scenario one, they move Kluber Torres in a trade for pitching of some sort, right? Starting pitcher, relief pitchers, or whatever it is. In that scenario, you move Gio to shortstop, where he's obviously has better range than Kluber did, shortstop. You've got DJ at second, and then you've got Matt Chapman over the third. Okay, that's scenario one. And again, DJ's more natural at second than he is at third. I mean, he had a pretty errant throw yesterday, going ahead in the first place on the ground ball. So he's fielding stuff, and he had a couple of fielding issues too, but all in all, he's really solid. That said, that's scenario one, where you move Gio to short, you bring in Chapman to third, okay, DJ to second, and then you've got either Voit or Rizzo or whoever at first base. Scenario two, they move Luke Voit for pitching or whatever package they move him for, hopefully pitching if they do. You move DJ to first, you keep Torres, you move him to second, right? You have Gio at short, and then you try to get Chapman. Now, you might have to give up. I mean, there's a chance, Luke Voit might and someone else might be able to have, might be an option over there for Oakland for Chapman. Now, they have Matt Olson already, who's an upgrade over pretty much any first baseman, so that's not necessarily going to be a fit. He could be a DH, Luke Voit, and then have him play an occasional first base too. That's possible. So it seems to me to fit moving Torres in a trade, potentially to Oakland or whoever else, because you're going to have to make a trade for Chapman too. He's got 2 more years of team control, and he's not a free agent until 2024. So, and he averages anywhere 25, 30 plus home runs per year, and with elite defense. So he's going to cost a pretty penny. But he's also at about $7 million salary. So the A's are known for not paying large salaries. So he's getting expensive, as is Matt Olson. So what do the Yankees, what can they give up for him in a trade? Obviously, if you're moving Luke Voit, Oakland's a possibility. If you're moving Torres, Oakland's a possibility. So I would move any one of those guys in a trade for either pitching or somebody like Matt Chapman. Now, obviously, I mentioned Matt Olson already. He's, if you can get an Olson in a trade, phenomenal. On the off chance in fantasy land they do a blockbuster with the A's for Matt Chapman and Matt Olson, that's a whole different ballgame. But that's going to cost so much that the Yankees are going to have to gut a chunk of their farm for that, which I don't see them doing at this point, since they developed it up to this point, when they've got a lot of position players who are going to be valuable contributors at some point in the near future. So, in the near future, in the very near future, and in the distant, somewhat distant future. And I'm talking 22, 23, 24, and so on. So, it seems to me the scenario, I think, the possibility to get somebody like a Matt Chapman is a little bit easier, I think, than it is to get Matt Olson. Nevertheless, it's going to cost a pretty penny. If you can move maybe Luke Voit and a pitching prospect for him, it might cost even more than that. But that's an option. Me, Gleyber Torres, I don't move for Chapman. I move for Matt Olson, personally, because he's younger, he's got more team control, and Olson's going to have a higher price tag than Chapman will. And I think he's more of a fit in Oakland than Luke Voit is. It's not blocked, really, like Luke Voit would be. So, and my fear is, and I said this yesterday, that either one of them or both of them would, go be traded somewhere and become Yankee killers. He'd all of a sudden become this great defender. Luke Voit would all of a sudden become, one of the top power hitters in baseball, even though when he's healthy he already is. But he would somehow find it, that the good health and consistency somewhere, and he'd make the Yankees pay. So that's my fear with trading either one of these guys. But I think Matt Chapman is definitely a viable possibility here for the Yankees. And if they want to improve their defense and, again, get a little bit more consistent on at the plate, Chapman's a good option. So is Matt Olson, obviously, but Chapman's a good guy to think about. And, again, all you have to do is shift a couple of guys over, and obviously you make a trade too. But you guys let me know what you think about Matt Chapman. Is he a good? Is he somebody you would go after this offseason? Let's get into it.